Have you ever looked into the eyes of your loyal companion and felt a connection that words simply cannot explain, a connection that does not need language? A connection that settles somewhere deeper than thought. In the quiet of this noon hour, as the sun reaches its highest point, we pause together. We slow our breathing. We let the noise of the day fall back just enough to notice what has been with us all along. We pause to honor a gift that did not arrive by accident, a life placed gently into our care by a loving Creator. For many of us, our pets are not simply animals sharing our space. They are witnesses to the quiet chapters of our lives. They have seen us pray when no one else was listening. They have felt our tears fall onto their fur. They have stayed close during nights when the house felt too large and the silence too loud. They are warmth in an empty room. They are rhythm in an anxious heart. They are comfort when words fail. Today, we bring these lives before you. We place into your care every creature who shares our days and nights. From the faithful dogs who watch over our homes with quiet devotion, to the gentle cats who rest beside us in moments of stillness. From the small animals who bring simple joy to the companions whose presence feels woven into our very routine. These lives are not mistakes. They are not interruptions. They are part of your creation, formed with intention, purpose, and care. We entrust their safety into your hands. We entrust their health into your hands. We entrust their well-being into your hands. You looked upon all that you made and called it good. Your goodness does not stop with humanity alone. It rests over every living thing that breathes. It fills the spaces where companionship heals what loneliness has worn thin. For the senior who lives alone, a dog can become a reason to rise each morning. Not out of obligation, but out of connection. A reason to step into the light. A presence that listens without judgment. A soul that does not measure worth by productivity or strength, but by closeness. In those quiet routines, filling a bowl, opening a door, sharing a patch of sunlight, something holy unfolds. We give thanks for these companions who teach patience without preaching it, who model loyalty without demanding it, who reflect a kind of faith that is steady, present, and forgiving. Our hearts lift toward the animals who are struggling today, those whose bodies have grown tired with age, those whose movements are slower than they once were, those facing illness, discomfort, or weakness that cannot be explained away. Where there is pain, bring relief. Where there is fear, bring calm. Where there is confusion, bring gentle peace. Let your presence surround them in ways they can feel, and let those who care for them receive wisdom, tenderness, and reassurance. Remind every loving heart that no life is overlooked, no breath ignored, no small heartbeat forgotten. In this midday light, we release the fears we carry quietly. The fear of loss, the fear of change, the fear of the day when routine will be interrupted by absence. Teach us to cherish the moments we are given now. Help us to be gentle stewards of every life entrusted to us. May our homes become places of safety, kindness, and rest, not only for ourselves, but for every creature within them. We remember those without shelter, those waiting behind fences and walls, those longing for warmth, for familiarity, for a place to belong. Provide for them in ways beyond what we can see. Move hearts, open doors, create spaces where care can take root. As we remain in this sacred hour, we breathe more deeply. We stay aware of your nearness. We remember the animals who wait for us, who sense sorrow before it is spoken, who remain close when the world feels overwhelming. You created them with an awareness that goes beyond words. They know when comfort is needed. They stay when others leave, and in their staying, we are reminded that you stay too. As this prayer continues, we turn our attention to the quiet places where healing is needed most. Not only in bodies, but in hearts that have carried much over the years. There are wounds that do not show on the surface. Weariness that comes not from a single event, but from a lifetime of loving, losing, and continuing on. You designed our bodies and our souls to respond to touch, to warmth, to presence. There is something deeply calming in the steady breathing of an animal resting nearby, in the familiar sound of paws moving gently across the floor, in the simple act of a hand resting on fur. What the world may explain as science, we receive as your provision, a quiet form of care placed directly into our daily lives. For the senior recovering from illness, whose strength has not yet returned. For the one whose hands tremble with age, whose body feels less predictable than it once did. For the heart that feels physically heavy with grief. Let the presence of a beloved companion become a channel of your healing peace. When energy is limited, let companionship restore what words cannot. When pain lingers, let closeness bring relief that medicine alone cannot provide. We speak renewal over both the caregiver and the creature beside them. Let their shared life become a steady source of strength, not through effort, but through quiet togetherness. There is a unique tenderness in aging, side by side with a pet. As our movements slow, we notice the same change in them. As our eyesight dims, we see the silver gathering in their fur and the gentleness settling into their eyes. This shared aging becomes a language of grace. Teach us to see beauty where the world sees decline. Teach us to see worth where productivity has faded. Teach us to recognize that love deepens even as bodies change. For those who feel frustration rising when tasks take longer than they once did, soften the heart. Let patience grow naturally from shared experience. Help us understand that value is not measured by speed or strength, but by the faithfulness of staying. Let our homes be filled with gentleness. Let our days be shaped by tenderness. Let our later years become a season not of shrinking, but of deepening. We also bring before you the fear that often accompanies love, the fear of loss. Many carry this fear quietly, not wanting to speak it aloud. The fear of a diagnosis, the fear of a sudden change, the fear of waking up to silence where there was once movement. Hold these fears with us. Teach us how to live fully in the present moment without borrowing sorrow from a future that has not yet arrived. Help us cherish the routines we sometimes take for granted, the morning greeting, the familiar sound at the door, the quiet companionship at our side. We place into your care the animals whose bodies are growing fragile, those whose steps are uncertain, those whose hearing or sight has begun to fade. Surround them with comfort. Let their remaining days be filled with safety, familiarity, and peace. And for those who care for them, grant courage when decisions feel heavy. Guard the heart against guilt and self-blame. Remind every loving owner that devotion is measured not by perfection, but by presence. Every breath comes from you. Every life rests ultimately in your hands. We lift up the animals who serve alongside your children. Those who guide the blind steady, the anxious, and bring calm where loneliness lingers. Strengthen them, protect them, sustain the bond between them and those who depend on their quiet faithfulness. Their work is unseen by many, but never unnoticed by you. Our prayer reaches beyond our walls into open fields and quiet pastures. We remember the animals whose lives are tied to the land, livestock, working animals, creatures whose care sustains families and communities. Protect them. Bless the hands that tend them. Remind us that every living thing belongs to you, and we walk this earth as caretakers, not owners. We hold close those whose homes feel too quiet today, those grieving a companion who is no longer beside them. Wrap them in comfort. Let memory become a place of warmth, not pain. Remind them that love shared is never wasted, never lost, never forgotten. As this part of the prayer settles, let strength return gently. Not the strength to push forward, but the strength to remain. To love fully. To care faithfully. To trust quietly. We remain here held in your presence alongside the lives you have placed in our care. As this prayer unfolds further, our hearts are gently led beyond the walls of our own homes. Love, when it is real, does not stop at what is familiar. It widens. It begins to notice lives we may never meet yet are still deeply held in your care. Our thoughts turn now to the animals waiting in shelters across this land. In busy cities and quiet rural towns behind doors and fences, there are countless lives waiting for a second chance. Some have been there longer than anyone expected. Some arrived with scars they cannot explain. Some sit quietly learning to hope again without knowing if anyone will come. We remember the ones often passed by. The older dogs whose steps are slower. The dark-coated cats whose eyes still search every face. The animals who carry the weight of past neglect without a voice to tell their story. Surround these places with protection and compassion. Strengthen the hands and hearts of those who return each day, even when the work feels heavy. When resources feel thin and exhaustion settles in, breathe new strength into those who serve quietly. Let no life feel invisible. Let no creature be forgotten. Provide warmth where there is cold. Provide nourishment where there is lack. Provide patience where fear has taken root. And in time, open doors to homes where safety and belonging can grow. We lift up the animals who walk beside your children as servants and companions. Those who guide the blind through crowded streets. Those who sit with the anxious, grounding them when the world feels overwhelming. Those who bring comfort into hospitals, nursing homes, and quiet rooms where loneliness lingers. Their presence is not loud, but it is powerful. Their service is not praised often, but it is holy. Protect them from harm. Strengthen their bodies. Sustain the bond they share with those who depend on them. Let their steady faithfulness reflect your own enduring care. We also remember the caregivers whose lives are shaped by responsibility. Those who foster animals temporarily knowing goodbye will come. Those who volunteer time they barely have. Those who open their homes again and again even after heartbreak. Grant them resilience. Grant them rest. Grant them the assurance that their love is not wasted. Remind us all that stewardship was never meant to dominate or control, but to protect and nurture. When you entrusted creation into human hands, it was not an invitation to harm, but a call to gentle responsibility. We lift up the animals of the wild, those moving through forests and fields, skies and waters. Guard their habitats. Restrain the destruction born of greed and neglect. Teach us to live in a way that honors life beyond our immediate comfort. May children learn compassion by watching how we treat a dog with patience. May tenderness be passed down through simple acts of care. May our legacy be gentleness. We remember those whose lives feel invisible to the world but deeply known by the animals who love them. For the one who feels overlooked by society yet deeply seen by a companion who never leaves their side, let that bond whisper a deeper truth, that you see them, you love them, and they are not alone. Our prayers extend into moments of danger and uncertainty. Where storms rise and fires spread, where sudden disaster forces separation, protect the animals caught in the path. Guide those who rescue. Strengthen those who search. Let compassion move swiftly in places of fear. Teach us through animals the freedom of forgiveness. They do not hold record of wrongs. They do not dwell on yesterday's mistakes. They live fully in the moment they are given. For hearts burdened by regret or unresolved pain, let this simple presence soften what has grown hard. May homes become places of reconciliation. May shared care rebuild what conflict has weakened. May love find its way back through tenderness. We also remember the creatures the world misunderstands or avoids, those feared, ignored, or mistreated. Soften human hearts where cruelty has taken root. Protect those who speak for the voiceless. Let respect for life grow stronger in our communities. As this part of the prayer settles, widen our hearts without overwhelming them. Teach us that compassion does not require perfection, only willingness. Help us to love faithfully both what is near and what is far. We remain attentive. We remain open. We remain entrusted with care. As this prayer moves forward, we enter the tender space of grief, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that settles quietly into daily life. The grief that arrives in small moments, an empty spot on the floor, a routine that no longer has a purpose, a silence that feels heavier than words. For many in the later seasons of life, loss has come more than once. The loss of a spouse, the loss of friends, the loss of strength once taken for granted, and sometimes the loss of a companion whose presence had become woven into the shape of each day. In this quiet place, you have not left us alone. We give thanks for the animals who remain close when sorrow deepens. They do not try to fix the pain. They do not rush the healing. They simply stay. A gentle weight resting nearby. A familiar presence through the long nights. Through them, remind every grieving heart that they are still held, still seen, still accompanied. Let peace settle where grief has tightened the chest. Let comfort arrive without explanation. Let tears fall without shame. There is a sacred dignity in growing old together, human and animal, side by side. As our steps slow, we notice the same gentleness in our companions. As memory becomes softer around the edges, routine becomes more precious. Feeding, walking, resting together in the light of an afternoon window. Teach us to see this season not as an ending, but as a deepening. Teach us that love does not weaken with age. It becomes quieter, steadier, more faithful. For those who feel frustration with their changing bodies, soften the heart. Let aging be met with compassion rather than resistance. Help us to extend to ourselves the same patience we offer to the animals we love. Let our homes be places where slowness is not a burden, but a grace. We ask for protection over the lives entrusted to us. Across changing seasons, changing weather, and changing strength, guard those who depend on our care. Protect animals from heat that overwhelms and cold that numbs. Protect them from accidents unseen and dangers unspoken. Grant discernment when something is unsafe. Grant intuition when action is needed. Grant calm when fear tries to take hold. Let our homes become places of refuge. Not perfect, but attentive. Not free from risk, but filled with care. We lift up the quiet fears carried by those on fixed incomes, those who worry about how long they will be able to provide. Where concern presses heavily on the heart, bring reassurance. Open doors to help. Provide support through community kindness and unexpected provision. Let no one feel forced to choose between love and survival. We remember the legacy being formed in small, everyday moments. Children and grandchildren watching how we treat the lives in our care. Let compassion be the lesson they inherit. Let gentleness become part of their understanding of faith. May the stories of love shared with animals be remembered not as trivial, but as sacred. Evidence of hearts shaped by mercy. As grief softens and memory becomes gentler, help us to hold both sorrow and gratitude together. Let remembrance become a place of warmth rather than pain. Let love continue its work even when presence changes. We rest here for a moment, not rushing forward, not pulling away, held in your care, alongside the companions you entrusted to us. As this prayer draws toward its closing moments, we lift our hearts gently toward hope. Not a loud or hurried hope, but a quiet confidence rooted in trust. The kind of hope that does not deny loss, but believes that love is never wasted. You are a God who restores, not by erasing what has been, but by renewing what you have lovingly made. We trust that nothing shaped by love is ever forgotten in your sight. No bond formed through care, presence, and devotion simply disappears. For those who carry questions about the future, ease the mind. For those who wonder what becomes of the love they shared with a companion, bring reassurance. You are the author of life, and all life rests securely within you. We place before you the animals who feel fragile, imperfect, or easily overlooked. Those who are blind, aging, injured, or living with limitations. In them we recognize our own vulnerability. Teach us through their courage, through their trust, through their quiet persistence. Let us remember that worth is not measured by strength or appearance, but by the life within. Grant patience, tenderness, and endurance to those who care for them daily. Let love continue its work, shaping hearts through service. As the afternoon light begins to soften, we speak a blessing over our homes, over every quiet corner where an animal rests, over every bowl filled with care, over every bed warmed by shared presence. Let peace settle deeply. Let agitation fade. Let rest come naturally. For those who feel tired physically, emotionally, spiritually, let watching a sleeping companion become a reminder of your rest. You provide while we sleep. You sustain without effort. We release the pressure to strive and receive the grace of being held. Open our awareness to the ways you speak through creation. When a bird sings outside the window, remind us of daily provision. When warmth rests beside us, remind us of comfort that does not abandon. For those whose senses are changing with age, deepen connection through touch, memory, and presence. Let no one feel cut off from life or love. We widen our prayer to include the whole earth, the animals of land and sea, the creatures great and small. Teach us to protect what you love. Let the care we practice at home shape how we treat the wider world. May stewardship replace neglect. May compassion guide action. For those nearing the final stretch of the journey, human and animal together, grant gentleness. Let transitions be marked by peace, not fear. Replace regret with gratitude. Fill empty spaces with your presence. Give courage to love again and faith to believe that goodbye is never the end. We entrust the days ahead into your hands. Whether they hold routine or change joy or sorrow, we trust you to remain near. Let love remain stronger than loss. Let memory become a place of warmth. We place ourselves and every living soul we love into your care. Now and always. Amen.